Ma'am, are you okay? You're standing in the middle of the street.
Jamal's voice cut through the city noise. He dropped his backpack and jogged toward the elderly woman frozen on the crosswalk.
I can't find my street, the woman whispered, her hands trembling. I was trying to get home.
Okay, don't worry, Jamal said gently, crouching beside her. Let's get you to the sidewalk first. You're safe, all right? People kept walking. Businessmen, a group of teenagers laughing, a woman in heels clutching her coffee, all pretending not to see. Jamal reached for her arm. Can I help you up? She hesitated, her cloudy eyes scanning his face. For a second she looked afraid, not of the traffic, but of him. Jamal noticed, and it stung, but he kept his voice calm. I promise I'm not here to hurt you. My name's Jamal. Slowly she nodded. Ellen Crawford. He guided her to a bench by the corner cafe. She clutched her purse tight, her knuckles white. Jamal noticed the elegant silver watch on her wrist. Not cheap. She didn't look homeless. Just lost. You live around here? He asked. I think so, she murmured. Elmwood Avenue, but I don't know which direction anymore. Jamal glanced at the signpost. Oak and Fifth. Elmwood was nearly 10 blocks away. That's far. Did you walk all this way alone? I went to the pharmacy, she said faintly. Then I couldn't find my car. Jamal checked the time on his phone, 4:47 p.m. His stomach dropped. He was supposed to be at his scholarship interview in 13 minutes. One interview that could change everything. But leaving her here wasn't an option. He sighed, pushing down the panic. It's okay, Ms. Ellen, I'll walk you home. She blinked. Why would you do that? You don't even know me. Jamal smiled. My grandma always said, if someone's lost, maybe you're meant to help them find their way. For a moment, her eyes softened. Something familiar in his tone, his calm. She nodded slowly. They started walking. She moved carefully, clutching his arm, her breathing shallow. As they crossed another intersection, Jamal heard whispers. Why's that kid with her? Probably trying to get something out of her. He pretended not to hear. Ellen, however, did. Her lips tightened. People love to assume, don't they? Jamal chuckled softly. Yeah, but that's their problem. A drizzle began, light but cold. Ellen shivered. Without thinking, Jamal shrugged off his hoodie and draped it over her shoulders. Now you'll catch a chill, she said softly. I'll survive, he smiled. Besides, I've been through worse. She tilted her head. You remind me of my grandson, she whispered. He was kind too, but he passed. Jamal slowed his steps. I'm sorry to hear that. It was years ago, she said, her eyes misting. I never thought anyone could remind me of him again. The rain picked up. Jamal looked around for shelter, a corner store, maybe a diner. His shoes soaked through, his stomach growled. Still, he kept walking. When they finally reached Elmwood Avenue, Ellen stopped in front of a tall, white house with ivy on the porch. Her shoulders relaxed. This is it. Jamal smiled, relieved. We made it. She turned toward him, her eyes shining with gratitude and something else. Curiosity. You missed something important to help me, didn't you? Jamal looked down. It's fine, really. Tell me. He sighed. A college interview. For an engineering program. My mom works 2 jobs, so... Yeah, this was kind of a big deal. Ellen's face fell. Oh, dear. She reached for her purse, but her hands trembled too much to open it. I don't carry much cash. He shook his head quickly. Please don't. I didn't help you for money. She studied him for a long moment, her lips pressing into a thoughtful line. Then she said, Wait here. Jamal blinked as she disappeared into the house. He rubbed his arms, teeth chattering. A few minutes later, the front door opened again, but it wasn't Ellen who came out. It was a tall man in a suit. You must be the young man who brought Mrs. Crawford home. Yes, sir. The man smiled. I'm David, her assistant. You have no idea what you just did. We've been searching for her for hours. Jamal frowned. She was downtown near Fifth. David nodded slowly. She's had some mild cognitive episodes lately, but she insists on going out alone. You helped her when everyone else walked by. That means something." Before Jamal could respond, Ellen appeared in the doorway, clutching a small envelope. She held it out. "This is for you." "I don't need—" "Please," she interrupted. "You've done enough good for one day. Let me do something small for you." Jamal hesitated, then accepted it out of respect. Inside, folded neatly, was a business card, embossed with silver letters. Ellen M. Crawford, CEO, Crawford Aeronautics Group. Underneath it, a handwritten note. "Kindness is rare. Call this number tomorrow morning." Jamal's heart skipped. He looked up, startled, but Ellen was already smiling softly. Good men shouldn't go unnoticed. He didn't fully understand what she meant, but her tone carried weight, like a promise. David extended a hand. "We'll make sure she's okay from here, and thank you again." Jamal nodded, tucking the card safely into his pocket. "Take care of her, all right?" As he turned to leave, Ellen called out, her voice firm despite her frail frame. "Jamal, remember something. You never know who's watching when you choose to do good." He paused, looking back at her one last time. Rain still fell lightly around them, streetlights reflecting off the wet pavement like stars scattered at his feet. He smiled. "Yes, ma'am." By the time he made it home, soaked and shivering, his mom was waiting by the door, worry etched across her face. "Where were you? The college called, said you didn't show up." Jamal opened his mouth to explain, then stopped. He didn't even know how to start. He just pulled out the card and handed it to her. She squinted at the gold print. "Crawford Aeronautics? Jamal? Where did you get this?" He exhaled slowly. "From someone I helped." She stared at him, then at the card again, speechless. That night, Jamal lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the words replaying in his head. "Call this number tomorrow morning." Who was this woman, really? And what could she possibly want with a broke 17-year-old kid who missed his shot at college to walk her home? Question for you. What do you think will happen when Jamal calls that number? Will it change his life forever? Or reveal something he never expected? Mom, what if it's nothing? Jamal muttered the next morning, staring at the business card again. The golden letters shimmered under the light. Ellen M. Crawford, CEO, Crawford Aeronautics Group. His mom, already dressed for her morning shift at the diner, smiled softly. "Honey, the woman trusted you with it. The least you can do is call. What's the worst that can happen?" Jamal hesitated, thumb hovering over the phone. He took a deep breath and dialed. "Crawford Aeronautics, this is David speaking." Hi, this is Jamal. I met Ms. Crawford yesterday. She asked me to call this number." There was a pause. Yes, Jamal, she's been waiting for your call. Can you come by our headquarters this morning?" Jamal blinked. "Your headquarters?" "Yes, 45th and Lexington. Ms. Crawford would like to see you personally." Jamal hung up slowly, heart pounding. Personally? What could she possibly want with him? 2 hours later, Jamal stood in front of a massive glass building with the Crawford Aeronautics logo shining above the entrance. People in suits hurried through the doors while security guards held scanners and clipboards. He felt small, out of place in his worn hoodie and sneakers. Still, he walked in. "Jamal Roden?" the receptionist asked, glancing up. "Miss Crawford is expecting you." He was led to a top-floor office overlooking the city. The space was sleek, sunlight pouring in through tall windows, awards glinting on the walls. And behind a polished oak desk sat Ellen Crawford herself, looking far more composed than the woman he'd helped yesterday. "Jamal?" she said warmly, rising to greet him. "You really came." "Yes, ma'am," he said, smiling nervously. "I just wanted to make sure you were okay." "I'm more than okay, thanks to you." She gestured for him to sit. "David told me you missed an important interview because of me." Jamal shifted in his seat. "It's all right. I'll just reapply next year." Ellen's brow furrowed. "No, you'll apply this year, but to better places." He blinked. "Ma'am?" She leaned forward, hands clasped. "You see, Jamal, I built this company from nothing after losing my husband and son.
For years, I thought money and success would fill that hole. But yesterday, when I looked into your eyes, I saw something I haven't seen in a long time.
What's that? He asked quietly.
Integrity, compassion, the kind of heart this world forgets to reward. She turned to a file on her desk and slid it across to him. Inside this folder is an acceptance letter to the Crawford Foundation's engineering scholarship. Full tuition, housing included, you qualify.
Jamal froze, staring at her.
You're offering me a scholarship? Just like that?
Ellen smiled. Not just a scholarship, a future. You said you wanted to study engineering, didn't you? Well, consider this your chance.
Jamal's throat tightened. Miss Crawford, I don't even know how to thank you.
You already did, she said softly. You helped me when everyone else looked away. That's all the thanks I need. For the first time in years, she felt her late son's memory bring her peace. And for the first time in Jamal's life, someone powerful believed in him without asking him to prove his worth. The next few months moved fast. Jamal started classes at a top engineering program funded entirely by Crawford Aeronautics. He studied hard, volunteered, and sent updates to Ellen regularly. One afternoon, he received a message from David. Miss Crawford wants to see you. Urgent. Worried, Jamal raced to her office. When he entered, Ellen was sitting by the window, a gentle smile on her face.
You're growing into quite the young man,
she said softly.
You remind me more of my son every day.
He sat beside her. You talk about him a lot. She nodded slowly. He wanted to change the world with technology, just like you. She reached into her drawer and handed him a small, worn-out notebook. This belonged to him, his designs, his dreams. I think he'd want you to have it. Jamal held the notebook carefully, his heart heavy with gratitude. I'll make sure his dream lives on, ma'am. Ellen smiled faintly. I know you will. Weeks turned into months. Jamal's story spread. Teen who helped lost woman receives full scholarship from CEO. News outlets picked it up. His school invited him to speak. He became an example, proof that doing right when no one's watching can change your entire path. But what he didn't expect was what came next. During a charity event, a major investor approached him. So you're the young man Mrs. Crawford can't stop talking about?
Yes, sir,
Jamal said humbly. The man smiled. She's asked me to mentor you. We're expanding a youth innovation program, and she thinks you'd be perfect to lead it. Me? But I'm still in school. Exactly, the man said. That's why she trusts you. You're living proof of what the next generation can do. Jamal accepted, and soon he was mentoring other teens from underprivileged backgrounds, kids who'd once felt as invisible as he had. The scholarship became a movement. The kindness of one moment had sparked hundreds more. Months later, Ellen grew ill. Jamal visited her every week, reading her son's old notes and updating her on his progress. One afternoon, she held his hand tightly and whispered, "Promise me something." "Anything," he said softly. "When you see someone lost in any way, stop for them. Don't walk past, because you never know who's watching or what you're meant to change." Tears welled in his eyes. "I promise," she smiled weakly. "Good boy." That was the last time he saw her awake. Ellen passed peacefully 2 days later. At her memorial, hundreds gathered, employees, friends, and even strangers she'd helped. David called Jamal to the stage. "Ellen left something for you," he said, handing him an envelope. Inside was a letter. "Dear Jamal, if you're reading this, it means I've gone to see my son again. But before I left, I made sure the scholarship we built together continues in your name, the Jamal Roden Foundation for Kindness in Action. You turned a moment of compassion into a movement. Keep going. With love, Ellen M. Crawford." Jamal's voice trembled as he read it aloud. The audience rose in a standing ovation. For a boy who once missed a college interview because he chose kindness, life had given him something far greater: purpose. He looked up, tears in his eyes, and whispered, "Thank you, Ms. Ellen. I won't let you down." Life lesson.
Sometimes the world tests your patience and kindness when no one is watching. But those quiet moments often define who you truly are. Helping someone in need might delay your plans, but it could lead you exactly where you're meant to be. Quick question for you. If you saw an elderly person struggling on the street, would you stop to help, even if it meant missing something important? Comment your answer below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more inspiring real-life stories that remind us that doing good always finds its way back.